Hello, everyone, and welcome. It is Wednesday, and we are having the Knowledge Bolide Hangout. Just kind of relaxed today. We had a few things we're going to talk about that aren't exactly meteorite related, and then later on, we're going to get into some scammers on eBay. But the most well, actually, Bruce, it may be meteorite related. What about Psyche you have?
So actually, yeah, it is meteorite related, and it's kind of interesting. I haven't watched the whole presentation. I dropped the link into the chat. It's a presentation by one of the lead scientists on the mission at the Silicon Valley astronomy lectures. So the it's on YouTube. Um, but it's interesting that the size of Psyche and comparison to like Bennu. You know, Bennu's, like the size of a I don't even think it was just like the size of a house. Um, Whereas Psyche's the size of, as she put it, Massachusetts or Switzerland.
Wow.
Um, and they have absolutely no idea. I've only watched about a third of it and a couple of tidbits in Hubble's telescope. It constitutes 4 pixels. So
Jeez.
there's no good imaging of it.
Wow.
Forget about from an
Hmm.
Earth-based
Hmm.
camera. Um, and she was talking, they think it's iron, um, or nickel iron. So that they think it's one of a few metal asteroids that are out there. And she got to the point where they were comparing it to a couple of meteorites that we are all familiar with, Gujba and Isheyevo. And
Wow.
that she said the reflectivity is similar to those. But then
Cool.
again, I think back to Bennu, and they said the reflectivity was similar to the HEDs, and Bennu was
Definitely
carbonaceous all
not.
the way.
Yeah.
No.
So
Charcoal.
it'll be interesting. It's like I
Hmm.
said, I only watched part of it. The link is in the chat. Definitely think it's worth watching the
All
whole
right.
thing through.
I'll also put it in the description of the video if this
Yeah.
ever makes it onto
Hmm.
the web.
Maybe if you remember in the news a couple of years ago when they were first talking about it, that the idea that this asteroid like was going to be worth like 10 quintillion dollars or
Yeah.
something like that. So she said that she explained how that came
Yeah.
about in the talk, and it was kind of funny. She said, like, when they presented the project and everything that was going on. Then she had like 10 hours of interviews back to back to back, an all day of interviews. And the interviewer asked her, well, since it's mostly iron, it's like, what would it be worth on, today's market? So she basically took, this giant thing the size of Switzerland and measured it out that, it on today's market, it would be roughly, on a pound basis for iron, what the current value would be. But then, she's like, but there's no way of us getting it here. We don't even know if it is. And then it's like, how do you get it here? And it's like, not only how do you get it here, but how do you not get it here and not have it crash into the earth and,
Yeah.
and wipe out all
Yeah.
humanity?
Yeah. How do you get just some of it here, not the whole damn
Yeah,
thing in
we'll
your
just go there and
backyard?
cut a piece of it off. It's like and
Wow.
melt it down.
Yeah. Well, one of
Yeah.
the cool things about Psyche that I've heard from academia, from I forget which scientist actually was telling me about it, but he said that the Psyche ever since this, I think it was Lawrence Garvey, Dr. Garvey. Maybe we'll have a check in from Boris later, but he said that since the announcement of the Psyche missions, a lot more iron meteorites have been asked of his repository for study. So the people are getting more interested in studying the iron meteorites with that mission to hopefully the core, an
Hmm.
iron core. Cool stuff, man. Thank you. Um, Cal has a meteorite to show off. I'm familiar with the name, and I know it's historic, important, and expensive, and that's really where my knowledge ends. So, Cal, could you tell us why Indarch is something important or special?
Well, thank you, Topher.
Yeah, man.
Let me start by saying, when you get a little toot when you see a news item that references a specimen that you have in your collection. And so that kind of happened to me a couple of days ago. Apparently, a research team used the composition of the Indarch meteorite. Indarch is a fall from 1891, fell in Azerbaijan, which is somewhat east of Turkey. And it turns out that it is a EH4 enstatite chondrite. And so, but it also apparently is similar in composition to the crust of Mercury.
Oh,
So
wow.
what these scientists did was essentially use the composition of Indarch to concoct a substance which they can then put under temperatures and pressures to learn more about how the surface and the magma of Mercury behaves. So that
Wow.
was kind of
Very
cool.
interesting. Yes.
Yeah.
Very
So
interesting.
I do have, and let me now see if I
And
can.
Cal, just to be 100% clear, because there's been a few meteorites, excuse me, there's been a few meteorites that have been potentially linked or Mercurian in nature. We're not saying Endarch has any connection other than scientific
Other
to.
than similarity in chemical makeup.
All right, thank you. Appreciate
So
it.
that is really the only, yeah, it's not like the Albrights, as if that's what you're referring to, yeah. But it is, um, again, with the type of iron that they see in it, because it is a high iron meteorite, related to what they've measured on the planet Mercury.
Wow, that is amazing.
So anyway, here
Yeah.
is a bit of Indarch. And that shows you a scale cube,
Hmm.
vintage scale cube uh, for size comparison.
Now, the I'll just ask because I have no other way of asking. The rust-colored spots, are they rust or is that another mineral that we're looking at?
Oh, I suspect it's rust. I've had this for quite a while.
Okay.
I
And
mean,
you said it is a high iron one, so it seems to reason.
how does this look? There's the other side. You got a little bit of it still.
Yeah. Yeah. I just wanted to ask for my own education to see to know exactly what I'm looking at. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
very
it's a very dark, fine grained texture though.
mhm. Very early in my career as a dealer, um, someone asked for Indarch, and I didn't know really anything about it, but I was able to source it from a reputable witness fall collector or reseller as well. And I remember looking at it and it was like, wow, very, very interesting. But this person asked that none of his items would be photographed. So I wasn't able to take photographs of it, even for my own use. But I remember looking at it and thinking, this is some unique stuff. This is some weird stuff. And then I remember how much money he paid for him, like how much money I paid for the piece, how much money he paid for him. Like, yeah, it's special, all right.
Yeah, it's a relatively rare classification, EH4. So
Yeah. And a
and
witness one,
and a
you know.
witness fall, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so that always helps with the scientists, I would imagine, because they know the age of it, they know terrestrialization of it. It's going to be a lot more, you know, close to the original body. Awesome. Thank you, Cal. Appreciate it, bud.
There's another one that they think may be from Mercury, AB. It's also EH4.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think Indarch has a lot of sulfur in it, doesn't it, Cal?
Yeah, again, and that's what one of the components they were testing is how does the iron and sulfur that it contains behave under pressure and temperature.
We are keeping the rolling. We had Marissa with her hand up, so we're definitely going to go to her. She has some unique Martian sample. How are
Yeah,
you?
hey Topher, hey everyone. I am really excited about this one. I wanted to get this as soon as I saw it, but of course I had to wait for my pockets to replenish. So this is one of the newest Martian meteorites on the market right now. It is Tarkint 001.
A great picture of it, by the way, too. This is, we'll have to point that out.
Looked like one of Maxine's photos.
I know. I was going to say the reflection on it and everything. Wow. Do you know, or maybe someone can comment on the are those the darker spots? Are they olivines? I believe.
Yes, they're
Okay.
actually brown brown green
Mhm.
olivine phenocrysts.
Awesome. Wow. This is one of the Mars that I don't have. Yeah, as you said, it's the newest. It's all the rage right now. It is the hot new Martian, and I don't have it, and I'm really jealous every time. Not jealous, but I appreciate everyone's samples because I don't have it. So I have to look at yours, and when you look at it, like it looks those phenocrysts look like HED material, not Martian material. It's very weird. It looks like it has some shock, a lot of high shock on this one.
Thank you, thank you. That was very yeah, I picked this one out because it looked like it had this nice shock vein running through it, and looks like a teeny little void.
Yeah, it looks like a tiny bit of melt, a shock melt, and maybe some outgassing or something.
Is that like a divot, like on the bottom there? If you zoom back in, like on the bottom left?
You mean this area?
Yeah.
I think it's a
No,
shadow.
that's just the shadow from the stand.
Oh.
Oh
Okay.
wow. Wow. I actually thought it was a divot as well, and I was gonna ask if it had fusion crust on it.
I wish.
You don't have
Thank you
any
for
fusion crusted
clarifying.
Martians just laying around? Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Okay. I'm glad Anthony asked.
This little slice is 0.85 grams.
Wow. You don't need much, you
Nice
know?
surface
No, you
area.
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
I could have gotten a bigger one, but I really liked that shock vein and
Yeah.
that little void I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
And that's what
awesome.
I had.
I need to get one of those now. Well, not
Oh
now, but
yeah.
eventually. Eventually I
It's
will.
so
So,
unique, I had to get one.
yeah. A few people have been showing off. I think Travis showed it off last week or the week before. Um, but yeah, I haven't showed off mine yet. Dang it. Let's see here. We have Pat Brown with his hand up, and I think if I read the chat right, it's not about G chondrite this time. Patrick, how are you,
Yeah.
sir?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Topper.
Good, man.
So I'm in the process of going back through things that I've cut and trying to interpret my cryptic notes and try and find all the photos I can find. And this is one that I actually wet cut on the wire saw, and so there's little bits of regret everywhere. All those orange spots that are used to be trololite, but are now, or one of the other sulfides, but are now limonite. Um, but this one is a really strange one. The whole rock is 1.39 kilos, um, and the chondrules are really strange. They're just not many of them that look very spherical at all, and yet they don't look like the classic cluster chondrule texture.
Bingo.
Um, and so I've been pouring through Dr. Rubin's new book on ordinary chondrites and learned a few more optical microscopy predictors for low subtype 3s. And one of those is carbonaceous inclusions. So right in the center there, that darker bit is CI or CM looking possible carbonaceous inclusion.
Hmm.
And this one, from studying it from the outside before I cut it, it's got, and I tried to find it just now and wasn't able to, but it's got a very blue crystal that's not halite. And I'm guessing is hibonite. And hibonite is associated with CAIs and carbonaceous chondrites. So I honestly don't know at this point if this thing is an ordinary chondrite or a carbonaceous chondrite. That little bit I'm reasonably certain is carbonaceous. But look at the weirdo shapes.
Yeah, there's a lot
Chondrules.
crammed into that right there. But then
Yeah,
it gets
and
real orderly over here.
yeah, and there are some chondrules that are roughly spherical, but a bunch of the rest of them have kind of amoeboid shapes. So this one will go in for classification at some point here, but is now labeled and protected and in the
So,
desiccant box.
so
And
this is actually ticking all. You have a new box that we need to tick. You used to be about subtyped chondrules. Now you're
yeah,
about, is it a chondrule or is it carbonaceous?
yeah. Well, and I've definitely gotten more interested in the carbonaceous chondrites
Yeah.
and picked up a couple of unclassified ones at Tucson from Matthew Stream. One of those looks like a fairly straight up CM2, although, you never know until you do all the lab work and the oxygen isotopes,
Mhm.
because there have been some that have been C3 ungrouped that look like CM2. And then one other one that kind of looks CK-ish, but it has ultra low density and super, super low magnetic susceptibility. So more work going on at Meteoritics Lab. And
Very cool, man.
thank you, Topher.
Appreciate it. Yeah, you have enough to keep you busy for a few lifetimes. So stay at
Yeah.
it, bud. Hey, Boris, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'm gonna. Um, did you actually get to stop by the Music Center yet or not?
I did actually. I was there yesterday, and I just kind of it was just a cold call. I dropped in. I had emailed Dr. Garvey to let him know I was coming, but didn't receive a response. So I thought, what the hell? Yeah, I sort of was rapping on his door when he walked around the corner, and so I got to meet him. Really nice guy.
Oh,
And he actually gave me a little mini tour of the vault, which was absolutely fantastic.
nice.
And he showed me, all the cool things like Tarta and a few of his favorites, and that was really good. That was a real nice treat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good. I'm really glad. And one thing that happens, he's very contagious.
yeah,
His energy, his excitement, his stories, his interest level. Like he's not just going through the motions. Like when he pulls out a piece, like gather around, kids.
yeah. Oh,
I,
he's
I
really into it. Yeah, I mean, that's a guy that just loves his job, so it's
yeah,
pretty clear.
yeah, yeah. Thank you, man. Thanks for checking in. I appreciate it. And we are definitely going to plan on going out to dinner with you and your wife while you guys are in town.
That'd be
So
super. Yeah, looking
yeah.
forward to that.
Yeah, we thought you were here for like 2 nights and we were going to cram it in last night. And Sue's not feeling well right now. So I'm so glad we got to reschedule.
Yeah, for sure. No, that'd be good.
Good deal. Um, Dave Pinsky, I think this is the last hand we have up as well.
Yes, yeah, I have something to share. This is like the third one I got. And they're all real different. The first one I got has very fine grain. I mean, you need a microscope to see the grain. Then I got one because it had fusion crust, because how often do you have, beige fusion crust?
Yeah.
That's just incredible. And this one had some bigger grain. It's not friable at all. And obviously, having that number up there from New Mexico, or University of New Mexico, is pretty amazing. Um, then they have some of this other type of crystal in there. I think there's a little metal bleb in there that might have kind of leaked over some rust. But correct me if I'm wrong. All of these that are numbered, I heard a rumor that they are part of the main mass that they have there.
I believe that's accurate.
Okay.
Yeah, the whole main mass, and it's on display in a plexiglass bubble at
Right.
University of New Mexico, Albuquerque. But you can tell just by looking at it how friable it is.
Yeah.
And in fact, as it's been sitting in its display, there've been pieces falling off. Uh, so
Then they pull them out and put a number on them, and that's
Is there a rhyme and reason to the numbers, like the lower numbers are the first ones that fell off compared to the higher numbers?
I'd
so
imagine so.
this follows an old meteorite practice where that number actually just means Norton County. And I don't think the pieces are individually serialized. And Neininger was one of the early people to do this, where there was, a certain number for Canyon Diablo, another number for Norton, another one for Holbrook.
No,
And
they all have different numbers on
They,
them.
they
They're
all have
serial.
different
oh,
numbers on
really?
them.
Yeah, they're
Oh, okay.
serialized.
Well, then I
Yeah,
stand corrected.
yeah.
That's not the normal scheme.
No, just yeah. The N is for the number, and then every single number is different. There's never.
Oh,
I've never seen a repeating number.
so each
cool.
one is its own. It's
Yeah,
basically the number of the particular meteorite that they have right there. So
Oh,
they start from, the beginning and you just go up. And I guess they
cool.
can catalog them really, really well. Let me show you the other side. Uh,
hmm,
so there's some nice things in here, and they don't look like that. And there's one thing I also kind of got an idea of. Some of them fluoresce. Um, I think it's the ones with the really fine grain that fluoresce. This one absolutely doesn't. So
Hmm.
in that rock is various types of material that are not the same. Because I put that up near the other one, and it just doesn't even look like it's the same one. Super fine uh, stone, and then you have the grain that is, much more blocky.
yeah.
Uh,
I would think that a lot of people have a lot of similar looking Nortons, and there is a wider variety of looking Nortons out there because, as Pat said, these are the ones that are crumbling off and falling off of the main mass. So
right.
these are always going to be on the exterior of the rock. Now, sure, it's encompassing the entire outside of the rock,
Yeah.
but it's going to be only the exterior, not the interior. So there could be different a mixture of lithologies in there because I love Albrights because they are very interesting and changeable throughout them.
Oh yeah, that have each one I have is just totally different, but then I guess they're chemically the same. And naturally, one of the highlights of having this is to have this card that gives you, and that's the ID card. It's hand written in ink, and it's like a nice historical piece to have from an institution like University of New Mexico. So
Yeah, it's thank you for sharing that. It's kind of like the only other meteorite that I know out there that like every sample is numbered and recorded. Can anyone feel me on this? What other meteorite is out there where pretty much every single piece has been
Uh,
numbered?
the one
Alma-Hattasita.
That's a good one. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't think, but yeah, that's a good one. I'm thinking of an iron.
The one from Switzerland that I
Yes.
can't say the name of.
Wanyana Lushta?
No,
No.
no.
Oh,
They're pulling out of the ground like potatoes, or they
yeah.
used to be.
Okay.
The one from Switzerland. Oh my God, why can't I think of it, Pat? It's the exact one I'm thinking of. I mean,
Yeah.
okay, crew.
Wanberg?
Yeah, Twannberg. Thank you.
Yes, that's it.
Thank you. Yes. Everything of that is cataloged. Every little piece that comes out, and as such, it holds its value. It's one of the most steady meteorites I've ever seen. Do you guys know how much it is per gram? $25.
25?
Yeah,
Yeah.
25. Do you know what it
Yeah.
was 10 years ago? 25.
That's a real example of the meteorite mafia.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Well,
there's a
no,
really nice book or pamphlet that shows photos of most of the stones and has an extensive catalog.
yeah, I actually have that. It's nice.
Hmm.
Yeah, we were. I don't know if we still have it in our inventory or not, but we were selling the Twannberg collector guy, the guy. Well, I think we do have it in Sue's awake. We do have it in. So if someone's looking for a Twannberg piece with the book that Pat's talking about, where it details all the pieces, they're all numbered. You can literally go and pull yours out and see there's my number, there's my weight, and here it is in my hand. It's a really cool experience. So that's in our inventory, which is right there. Boo. Yeah. All right, guys, that was our little hangout for tonight as far as just some show and tell and stuff. I think we're gonna jump on in a little bit and do some roasting of some eBay scammers. So stay tuned for that. Everyone, turn on your cameras. Have a great week, everyone. Bye bye. Good.